All right, so looking for common factor, first thing, number one, look for common factor. Number two, look for difference of squares, especially if there's two terms with a minus sign between them. Now, if there's a trinomial, factor by inspection, the same thing. I don't ever do decomposition. So decomposition, you can just cross it off. I don't do that. We just factor by inspection. But do watch for perfectly square trinomials. Can you give me an example of a perfectly square trinomial? Does anybody remember what that is? Do you remember square the first, square the last, double it and drop it in the middle? That creates a perfectly square trinomial. Does anybody remember that? Good morning. Yeah. So if you had something like, let's make a perfectly square trinomial, shall we? 9x squared. And if I said this was 36, what term would have to be in the middle? By the way, this has to be positive. If I gave you those last two and I wanted to make a perfectly square trinomial, what term would have to be in the middle?
36.
How'd you get 36?
3 times 6.
Took the 3x times the 6, right? Oops, times those together, and then times it by 2. So 6 times 3 is 18, times 2 is 36x. That's correct. Minus or plus, it doesn't really matter. Either one would work. Okay, that is a perfectly square trinomial. And if you notice, the point of the perfectly square trinomial is if you happen to notice that it is one, the factoring is quick. If you don't happen to notice, it's okay. All right? Okay, if you happen to notice that it is, you can take the square of the first, and then the back, and the sign here. Okay, that just is another quick way of factoring, but only if it's a difference of two squared. Only if it's a perfectly square trinomial. Okay, if there's 4 terms, look to factor by grouping, and that will require ripping off the heart. Okay, and then of course, always check to see if you can do more. Can you go further? You have to factor all the way. Okay, so there's your 2 terms difference of squares. There's your trinomial with 3 terms. I don't do any of this. And your 4 terms by grouping. There it is in a chart. Can you do that? And the number one common thing with all of them is that you look for a common factor. 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms. Okay? That's it. That's how you do this. And always check to see if you can factor completely. So ready? Here we go. Let's practice a few more times. Okay? This is the end of our practice time. Go. I can flip for it. We can do flippity and everyone has to fill it out. Pick one, or you can just volunteer. Let's volunteer. Adrian. Voluntold. How do you do letter A?
3x.
Uh-huh. Now everybody watch. Stop doing your homework and watch. 3x. Go ahead.
Positive 6 on the left and negative 6.
Is he wrong? Everybody look up here and pay attention. Is he wrong or is he right? Angelina is saying he's good. Angelina. But is he done? Evan's saying no. Why, Evan?
Because both have to divide 3.
Oh, because there's common factors in both sets of brackets. So do you know what you'll have to do? Remove a 3, remove a 3, put them together, make a 9. Stop. Erase. Totally possible, Adrian. Could totally do it. That was not wrong. Let's stop and think of another way to do it. Let's try again. That wasn't wrong, that was right. It just was different. What's another way? Is there another way to attack that problem? Yes. Look for a common factor first. It will save you because here's the problem with doing what we just did. The problem with doing what we just did is that some people are going to think you're done and you're going to quit. And then you'll get it wrong because you have to take out the common factor. So take out the common factor first and then you'll get it because you won't quit there. You'll know to go further, right? But you see the danger of not taking out the common factor first? Adrian was gonna do it, he was gonna get it right. But you might not. So do that. Okay? All right. Do you think you can do all this? If I just let you go to work on your homework? Is there any that we should practice before you do a quiz, for example?
D.
D? Okay, there's 4 terms there. Let's practice. So, are they in the right order? Is there something common in the first 2 and something common in the last 2? Now, some of you got this wrong on your quiz. I'm going to hand back to you, so I would pay attention. Is there a common factor? Yes, what is it? 6x, okay? So I have 4x minus 5 left over. You didn't know what to do with this. Watch. The next sign has to go down in the middle. Some of you didn't do that, so it made a mess on your quiz. Now you look for what's common. It's a 9. What do you have left? 4x minus 5. Now you have to rip out the heart. Lots of you forgot to put the sign from the middle down. Is that line equivalent to the line before it? Yes. Rip out the 4x minus 5. Multiply it by 6x and then multiply it by 9. There you go. Are we done? Are we done? No, we're not done. Because why?
6 and 9 times.
There's a common factor in there. So, one more step. Copy, copy, copy. Take out a 3, 2x plus 3. You can leave the 3 there. Mostly we put it in the front. Okay? So, always be checking. Do I have a common factor? Do I have a common factor? Okay? All right. So you look back up at the very beginning. Could we have taken the 3 out from the beginning? 3 divides by 24, 30, 36, and 45. Yes, we could have. So you could have removed, I could make you erase, do it again, but I won't. But take out the common factor first and you won't lose it in the middle. Okay? There was a common factor in the very beginning. All right. Are you worried about letter E at all? No? Are you ready to roll? Should we do letter E? Okay, let's do E. First thing, there is a 3, there's a common factor. Let's remove it. So divide out the common factor. Leave yourself how many brackets?
1.
I think you all did that perfectly. I haven't seen anybody messing around with that first step 1 bracket, which is so cool because that'd be the first time my class, the entire class has done that right. So congratulations. Okay, that's what happens when you remove or divide out the 3. Be sure that you can get back everything that was above. And I can see it, 3 minus 3x squared minus, okay, good. Now I'm gonna copy the 3 down and go to 2 brackets. What's gonna go on the front? Quick. 1, yeah, nothing else, just 1. What goes at the last bracket? Well, you have to have x squared. Don't forget your letters. One of you or 2 of you forgot to put your letters in at the back. 12, what do you want to try? 6 and 2, 3 and 4, 12 and 1. Which one do you want to try? 3 and 4? Okay, 3 and 4. Here's where we press pause and we go double check. So the outer and the inner make that middle term. Okay, and then you're like, all right, that'll work. I can get a 1 out of that, right? There's a 1x squared in the middle. Make sure you're looking at this x squared. But you have to owe it. That means I have to owe more than I have. So owe the 4 and have the 3. Okay. Then I'm going to go erase now all of my extra checking work. Because you want to make sure you ask yourself, last question. What's the last question you're asking? The first question you ask is, can I remove any common factors? The last question you're going to ask is, am I done? Okay? Have I finished? Have I factored fully? Can I go any farther in either of these brackets? And your answer would be, I don't know. Some no's, some yes. Well, definitely not with this bracket. The 1 plus 3x squared is done because it's a plus. But look at the negative one. Do you see it? Are those both squares? Is one a perfect square, Micah? Yes. 4x squared, definitely. So, copy, 2 brackets. 1 minus 2x, 1 plus 2x. By the way, how many factors are there now? Four? Yeah. 4. Okay, good review. You have some homework. And those of you that have a quiz to do, you can stay where you are. We'll just do the quiz in class. Everybody else will be quiet while you write. I don't think it'll take very long. Okay. Oh, I should press off. I don't think you need a calculator for the quiz.